Welcome to Maple Grove High School as the Class 6A football playoffs continue tonight. A second round game on a beautiful night here as the Edina Hornets pay a visit to the Maple Grove Crimson. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, joined tonight by Bethel assistant and former Osseo defensive coordinator Mike Johnson. And obviously these teams played a great close game in the regular season with Edina winning by one. That kind of sets you up for thinking this has a chance to be a pretty good one tonight.
Right, and they're two well-coached teams. They both have good quarterbacks and tough defenses. I've seen both of them play online. I've seen Maple Grove play live and online, and so I'm excited to be here. It's a beautiful night for the kids. It's winner-take-all football, and I know a lot of the coaches on both staffs, so it's fun for me to watch.
Yeah, quite a few guys coming over, including the former Osseo head coach, Darren Lampker, working with the offense at Edina. And it has to have a little bit of a different element to this matchup maybe than it would have been the case in previous years, considering how well these coaches do know each other.
I'm sure that Edina's staff in the past got to know Maple Grove pretty well as well, but I'm sure it'll be a great matchup, and I'm sure the kids are very excited to play. And what a blessing for them to have a night like tonight, to be a senior on a night like tonight, playing football under the lights on a Friday night, playoff football. It's just really cool.
Talk about key players to look at in tonight's game. We've picked out a couple of receivers. Since the weather is so good, I think they'll be able to throw the ball, starting with the visitors from Edina. And Parker Rickards had a nice year for them, been their leading receiver, a guy who can really make plays. Coach Lampker saying he's surprised that a small D1 or a D2 school hasn't latched on to Parker Rickards just yet. Maple Grove held him in check pretty well in the regular season with only 2 catches, but he had a key kickoff return for a touchdown for the Hornets in that one. And for Maple Grove, we're going to talk tonight about Teddy Rash, who really came up big in the victory last week over Roseville. He not only had 2 touchdown catches on offense, but he also had an interception that helped to set up one of those touchdowns as the Crimson pulled away late and beat a pretty strong Roseville team. Mike, you mentioned quarterbacks. I don't know that there's a playoff game of the team still remaining that has a better matchup. Guys with more experience than Brock Boltman for Edina and Brad Davison of Maple Grove. It has to make you feel a lot better as a coach when you know you've got a guy who knows the game real well back there and really can run your team.
Well, yeah, it just gives you every confidence in the world going into the game that you have a chance. And regardless of whether you're favored or not, it's like the pitcher in baseball or the goalie in hockey. That's the guy, maybe even more so. That's the guy that can be the difference maker for both teams. And so, yeah, it could be a challenge for both of these defenses, but we'll see how it goes.
Boltman is a little bit under the weather, but obviously he's going to give it a go here in this playoff game. Stay tuned. The winner advances in the playoffs, and the loser will see their season end tonight. It's a great matchup. The Hornets from Edina taking on the Maple Grove Crimson next on 12 Sports. And welcome back here to Maple Grove for the second round playoff matchup in Class 6A between the Hornets and the Crimson. Joining us on the sideline tonight once again is Allie Arlt. Let's go down to Allie.
Hey guys, what a beautiful night for football with everything on the line. As you know, the last time these two teams played in the third game of the season, Maple Grove lost by just 1, but Coach Lombardi says not tonight. He said his team has had a great week of practice and his boys are ready. He said that since playing Edina last time, his team has developed a much cleaner style of play. Less turnovers, less penalties. He said if they're able to continue that tonight, his team will come out on top. But for Edina, Coach Boltman says this game is coming down to the fourth quarter and it's going to be a one-score game. He says his team needs to be physical on the line of scrimmage and stop quarterback Brad Davidson to do so. If they're able to do that, he says his team is headed to the state tournament.
Thanks very much, Allie. And Maple Grove actually rallied late with a couple of touchdowns in that first game and tried to go for 2 for the win at the end and were stopped by the Hornets. So a very dramatic ending to that contest, and we hope we see one that's kind of along those lines tonight. Would be a lot of fun here. Izzy Stewart and Parker Rickert waiting back deep as you see Coach Lombardi. I asked if he felt like his team, they fell behind Roseville last week, and you say it's a 2 versus 7 matchup. They ended up piling it on in the fourth quarter and pulling away, but he said no, he wasn't disappointed with how they played. He said Roseville's just a better team than what people realize, and he knew that coming in, and he was glad the way his team responded in the fourth quarter. Got a couple of interception returns for touchdowns at the end as well. Andy Peterson kicking off here for the Crimson. And we are underway as this kick will be taken on about the 8. A fake reverse here as Stewart handling it, breaks through an arm tackle, and then the second wave gets him and knocks him down at about the 20-yard line. So we will see Brock Boltman and the Edina offense out first here for the Hornets against a Maple Grove defense that's coming along pretty strong. They didn't have really a lot of experience returning from their state semifinal team a year ago, and so it's taken just a little bit of time to gel, as every high school season's different, and you got guys that you're confident in, but at the same time they haven't been out there in varsity games.
Right, and a lot of times the best programs and strongest programs like Maple Grove graduate a lot of guys.
First down from the 20-yard line here for Boltman and crew. Looking right with it, he's going to tuck it and go here, and Boltman won't get much as he's knocked out of bounds. Get a look at the starting offense for Edina. Quinn Carroll, a guy to watch now and in the future, as a 6'7", 290-pound sophomore. Coach Lamker, their offensive coordinator, says he'll be a BCS-level recruit by the time he's done. And you can look at the rest of the offense for the Hornets. Only about a yard pickup there for Boltman on that first down play, as Maple Grove had pretty solid coverage. Boltman coming up under center this time. And get a whistle before the play here, and a procedure penalty against the Hornets, it looks like. Rolf Erickson, the referee tonight. Umpire is Jeff Johnson. Linesman Chris Rossini. Bob Norman, the line judge, and the back judge is Tom Steffen. So a 5-yard penalty. Both coaches actually mentioned, we have to limit penalties, and I guess it's, you say that every week to a certain extent, but it really feels like to me that a lot of games have been pretty penalty filled this year. I don't know if there's been renewed emphasis on, on calling things that they see or whatever, but Boltman going to take off here on the draw, lowers his shoulder, but he is met and wrapped up, so not a whole lot of room there. Boltman, the leading rusher for Edina. There's a look at the defensive unit for the Crimson. Again, small and quick up front, as has been kind of their MO. And a pretty solid group. Not a lot of guys going both ways this year. They had some studs last year that they were going to use offensively and defensively most weeks. Not as much of that this year, according to Coach Lombardi. So third down and long here, 3rd and 11 for the Hornets on their first possession. Play action, Boltman looking out, and his pass is complete, and a chance down the sideline here. Nice cutback, and Rickard is going to go for the touchdown. 81-yard strike for the Hornets, as the first pass attempt of the game ends up being a huge play for Edina. See Rickard turning it upfield, and then that little move right there is what got him the rest of the yardage.
And it's just a deep fade out, completed, and a missed coverage.
Great big play there for the Hornets, and the extra point attempt, though, is blocked. And so Edina gets on the board. Maple Grove does get a kick block on the extra point as you get another look at the play here. See, you're wondering where the safety help is there a little bit. I mean, it was the completion, but boy, Rickert made it look easy just cutting it back.
Well, he made a little bit of a fundamental mistake by overrunning it from the inside of the field. He may have overestimated Rickert's speed.
Then you see the point after try, and right up the middle, great penetration to block that extra point attempt as Matt Rice had it denied. So
far, Maple Grove clearly winning the special team battle. I was just thinking that going into that 3rd and 15, I was thinking that some great field position was going to get set up by that kickoff coverage that stopped Edina's initial kickoff return right on the 20. It didn't work that way, but that's still great kickoff coverage and a big play to keep it at 6 and from being 7.
Yeah, you never know. The first game was an indicator, when that extra point might come back to bite you. So Rice will kick off here for the Hornets, and he's going to keep the ball low on the ground, fielded on about the 13-yard line here as Ryan Hanscom will bring it out over the 25 to about the 27. So now we'll get a chance to see Brad Davison running the Maple Grove offense, and he has had an outstanding season running the ball and throwing the ball. And, it isn't just the stats that he is able to put together, but the fact that, it's a guy that you want the ball in his hands late in football games. And that's not always true of every good player, but they know that he's the kind of guy that can lead them down the field when, in crunch time.
And he certainly seems to have gained confidence over the course of this year. I was at the Prior Lake game. The Maple Grove won. It was a great drive orchestrated by him right at the end of the game, and it was pretty exciting for them.
Fires complete to Dugan in the flat, and he is ridden down there as he nearly broke that one. Perry Angelos on the stop as we get a look at the offensive starters for the Crimson. Well, we saw 22 scoring a touchdown for Edina, and then Dugan trying to break one early on as they get a quick first down, a gain of 14. So from the 41-yard line, Davison looking to the left side this time. Throws complete to Teddy Rash. He is wrapped up. Ball comes out, and it looks like it is a fumble, and the Hornets are going to have it. Yep, Edina able to force a turnover as the recovery made there by Matt Kavanaugh. Rash trying to fight for extra yardage and instead has the ball popped out. He gets wrapped up right away. He's trying to get away, and then coming in to force the fumble was Angelos. So Rash has it knocked free and will lose it. And the Hornets get it right back in Crimson territory. Pretty good start on the road for the guys in white.
Really good start on the road. Forcing a turnover like that was a great throw, great catch, but forcing that turnover, what a play. Back
to Rickard here in the flat. Rickard wrapped up inside the 40-yard line, and he'll pick up a nice 6, maybe 7-yard gainer on that quick short pass.
Those are the types of passes that are pretty much impossible to get a pass rush on. You might have your defensive ends get their hands up, try and get even in the vision of the quarterback, but can't be defended, especially if you're giving away the flat.
From the 39 now, second down, blitz coming. They hand off in a solid collision as Matt Kavanaugh took that handoff, the sophomore, and he will be stopped just short of the first down. There's a look at Reed Boltman, 9th year. Brought a kind of a very interesting dynamic to, you have the head coach of the team that won the state title last year come over to be your offensive coordinator, and that's what Edina has this year. Boltman's going to keep it himself. Didn't get much push there, but I think he may still have enough as he got close to the 35-yard line. There is a look at Darren Lamker. It was Osseo's head coach for a number of years and actually still teaching in the Osseo district, at least for now.
Yes. Well, of course, Coach Lamker and Coach Bolton go back many, many years when Darren was an All-American quarterback at Augsburg and won the MAC championship. Coach Boltman was a defensive coordinator there, so they go way, way back, and have been good friends for a long time. So,
1st and 10 from the Crimson 36. See if Edina can capitalize on that turnover, if Maple Grove can get a big stop. Boltman looking to throw, fires, and it is complete. An immediate stop, but still a nice gainer as he's able to hook up there with Izzy Stewart. And that is going to be enough for a first down, right exactly at 10 yards gain. Both teams, similar passing game in the early going. The one big difference is Edina broke the long one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the thing we talked about before the game is as far as having two really good quarterbacks out there, that's already starting to become apparent. I mean, Davison's only been out there for a few plays, but his passes were both highly accurate. And
Boltman takes off immediately, trying to split between defenders, and he will get about 5 as he is wrapped up there. Zion Allen and crew, and this one obviously a straight run right away, not even really a draw, just taking off. And
trying to keep the defense off balance, mixing up the pass and the run. And now they're in 4-down territory, obviously, so they have 3 downs to get 5 yards.
Down to the 20-yard line of the Hornets. Boltman looking to fire out into the flat. It's complete. And spinning away is Rickard. It looked like they were going to get him early, and he tightropes the sideline, and he is in for the touchdown. Wow, Rickard. It certainly looked like that was going to be a play that gained very little, but he is able to spin out of trouble, and it looks like we picked the right guy to talk about in the pregame here. Wow.
That's a great play by him as a defensive coach. I think, boy, we got to Coach Lombardi, I'm sure he's going to get on the sideline and encourage kids to correct their tackling angles and make sure that they wrap. Just missed him by, really had him dead to rights. But what a great athletic play by him to escape and then turn on the burners and get up the sideline.
They go for 2, and Boltman is able to fight his way in. So the Hornets, after having the first one blocked, this time they go fake and get the 2-point conversion. As we get another look at Rickard, you know, at first glance, I'm thinking to myself, boy, Rickard's making a mistake by going backward here. Shows how wrong I was. But you're right, that's both guys out there got to be thinking this is a tackle we should have made, and then the help kind of overran it again too. They maybe were a little too excited to get a stop for loss, or at least stop him right away. And watch Boltman come up. He's the holder, and he fights his way in. So Edina with a great start on the road here. 7:31 to go in the first quarter, and they now lead it by a 14-0 score.
Yeah, Maple Grove just has to settle down here a little bit, regroup. They have a lot of time on the clock, 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. So when games go like this, if you can just encourage your kids to stay calm, stay at peace, and be confident. Games swing back and forth, and they'll swing away from you, and then you just have to wait and be confident and be sure that you'll get your breaks too.
I know it sounds funny to say, but you're almost glad that it's happened this quick rather than being down 14-0 in the middle of the third quarter or something like that. Hanscom runs this one back up the middle and will be stopped at the 30-yard line. So Maple Grove getting the ball back. They had a couple of completions to start it out, but then the ball was ripped free from Rash, and Edina able to capitalize on that turnover. But Maple Grove, I think, like you say, you're not going to panic here. They feel they can score some points in this game, and just have to get back to business and do what they were going to do, on that first drive before the turnover did occur.
Be interesting to see how both teams try to defend the pass in the formations. Maple Grove's been mostly in 2-by-2, 2 receivers each way, gun. Edina showing 2 deep safeties.
Handoff goes to Hanscom, and he'll pick up about 3 off the left side as good solid tackle. Here's a look at the defensive starters for the Hornets. Team that's been a little bit banged up. They're, I think the general consensus is that they're a little better team than what their record looks like, because they had a lull in mid-season a little bit and ended up, coming into this one at 5-4. And I heard one of the coaches, I believe it was a coach from Prior Lake, talking about it, and it's absolutely true. With the schedule that these teams in that sub-district are playing, you can be a pretty good team and still only be 5-3 or 4-4 during the season.
Yeah, that's pretty clearly the toughest conference top to bottom in the state. There's some other great teams, but not as many as on that schedule. So
nice completion to Christensen there, and that will be a first down for Maple Grove, a gain of about 8 as Davison had a pretty clean pocket and put it right on him. Nice defense, getting there in a hurry by Luke Glenub. However, not enough to stop the completion. So Maple Grove to the 41. Kickers, but also quarterbacks have to love the fact that not only is it warm tonight, but not much wind. And it seems like every time we come to Maple Grove, even if it's, September, it's usually windy, and that's not the case tonight. Great stop defensively there by Abdi Sahal, getting there to chop Hanscom down, and I think he'll have a short loss on the play, maybe back to the line.
First time that Maple Grove came out in a pistol formation, they put a wing into the boundary and tried to toss it there. It's interesting because if that's a little bit of I haven't watched the films or anything, but if that's a little bit of a run indicator, pistol often is, especially if it's not part of your base. So they sure jumped on that play. That was my point.
Yeah, well defended. 6th season for Matt Lombardi. They've been in the semis the last 2 years, which was the first times in school history that they've been that far. Here's Davison looking to throw and gets it out there to Kai Carlson. Shoved out of bounds there by Luke Glenna. So not nearly enough for the first down, obviously, but they pick up about half of what they needed. A 5-yard gainer there. A good safe throw out into the flat.
Right. It's a great throw, a great catch by Kai Carlson, and turning it up to get it a kind of a short 5. You can really see right there that Davison has the ability to throw with authority all the way from one hash mark to the far sideline and just threw a bullet. And as I said, it takes a good receiver to even catch that ball.
Obviously, Brad will be playing college basketball at Wisconsin, but I don't think there's any doubt that he would have been, a recruit and a big one for football as well. Davison dropping to throw, steps up. Oh, he's grabbed. He fires it up for grabs in the middle there, and incomplete. He tried to go to Dugan. That one was a bit of a gamble, and it will result in a 4th down. Good pressure here by the Hornets as pressure got to him, and Angelos had a hold of him as he threw that ball. The other thing that people don't always notice about Davison right away, he's a big guy for a high school quarterback. He's tough to bring down.
Right. That was a very risky attempt at a throw. I think he might have been feeling the weight of the third and 5 on him. But it also was one of the first throws he's had where he took more than just a quick look and throw. He was trying to do kind of a longer protection right there, and it didn't hold for him.
Carter Kitterman on the punt. And it's going to bounce down to about the 25-yard line. So a 29-yard punt, but no return. So Edina gets the football back for the 3rd time. They're 2 for 2 so far. Once scoring on a big pass play on their opening drive and then capitalized on a turnover and drove it in. They have to like what they've seen, but at the same time, you don't start patting yourself on the back in the middle of the first quarter either.
Oh, yeah, they have a tremendous amount. There's a lot of football ahead right now, especially with 2 wide-open teams that can throw the ball and make big plays at the drop of a hat.
Boltman under center here. Play action look. Fires and incomplete as Edina asking for a flag there as he tried to go to Izzy Stewart. And Joe Raymond was over there defensively. If anything, they might have gotten their feet tangled a little bit. At least from my vantage point, it appeared to be a good no call there.
I agree. That's a good no call. That's one of the first time in the last 2 pass plays on both sides. It's the first time we've seen a little bit of pressure on either quarterback. These offensive lines have both, pretty much so far been doing a good job.
Well, 2nd down and 10 here for the Hornets. Boltman first miss of the game right there, and the pressure, like Mike said, probably had a little bit to do with that. Here they come with the blitz. And now a flag down. Boltman is going to be sacked. It's going to be a holding anyway, I think. Eugene Horton, the nose guard, getting there, and he was grabbed on the way in. So they'll probably decline this penalty, I would think, or certainly might consider it anyway, as he's able to get the sack. Watch as he comes up the middle. He picked up the blitzer but got behind Horton and tried to yank him down. Instead, he gets there.
I agree with that decision. That's a good. That would just be a few yards if they were to turn that into a second down. So get him to a 3rd and long. Very difficult to execute. Maple Grove's really in. If they can execute this 3rd down, they're in really good shape to start with some good field position on this next drive.
3rd and 17 here for the Hornets as Boltman looking to throw deep down the left side, looking for Rickard, and it is incomplete. Back there defensively for the Crimson, Gabe Hansen, and stayed right with him.
Gabe Hansen did a great job. He got on the top shoulder of the receiver and just ran with him, looking back at the football, completely crowding him out of it. So it's never going to get any not even close to an interference call. Just great defensive coverage.
So Maple Grove gets the stop for the first time, and Boltman is the punter as well here for Edina, and boots it away. A couple of returners back there for the Crimson, and scooting straight up the middle there is Raymond, and he will be into Hornets territory down about the 42-yard line.
Great field position starting out this drive for Brad Davidson and the Crimson. Anytime a defense gives an offensive ball inside the 50-yard line, that's a big encouragement for them and their football team.
So down 14-0. Davison and the Crimson offense get it at the 42 of Edina. About 4.5 minutes to go.
Mixing up the formations now, Jay.
Got a little eye set. Davison's going to run this one and has plenty of room up the middle, and then he is wrapped up at about the 35, so a gain of 7 or so for Davison. First time we've seen him run, but again, that's nothing unusual this year. He has run the ball a lot and run the ball effectively.
And with him being such a great runner, having 2 running backs in the backfield creates 2 lead blockers instead of 1. So Edina would have to really be ready to stick their nose in there to stop that. Puts them in a really favorable 2nd and 3 inside the 35.
Davison going to hand off to Hanscom this time. Tripped up, and he spins forward. Not quite enough for the first down there as Xander Drogo Lamb getting a piece of him there, enough to trip him up and stop this first down.
This is where the advantage of field position truly kicks in. You have to think that Coach Lombardi's thinking he has 2 downs to make this short yard right here. So.
Davison looking to the bench. They really like his ability to get them into the right play sometimes too. If he sees something he doesn't like out there, and we're going to get delay a game call though against Maple Grove. Well, maybe they took a little too long to get into the right play there.
Oh, that seemed really short.
Yeah,
they
usually
must have set the ball really fast.
Yeah, even a lot of times you just get a feel for how long it's going to be, even if you're not actually watching that official. And I agree, it didn't. That wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be the result there. See if they spread it out a little bit more now.
That kind of depends on when the official spots it and sets it, and if the ball's it wasn't a huge gain. If he set it really, really quickly, then that clock seems to go back by a little faster. So
3rd and 6 instead here for Maple Grove. Davison, pressure coming, and he throws, and it's incomplete. Trying to come back to meet it there was Christensen, but there's no doubt he had to hurry that throw a little bit as the Hornets getting enough pressure on to bother him.
Yeah, what the Hornets did right there is bring 5-man pressure, and they manned up underneath with 1 deep safety, kind of his insurance in back. And so Davis felt the pressure of those 5. That's kind of 1 extra guy blitz. A little bit harder to block. Good coverage can make that really hard to execute a pass plan.
In this spot on the field, I don't think this is a terribly tough decision to go for it here, obviously, and especially down 2 scores.
Way more to gain than you have to lose.
And it's going to be 3rd and longer yet as they got started earlier. Yeah, that might change the thinking. it almost, you don't want to point the finger in the wrong spot here, but it almost seemed like the snap came later than what, because I think there were multiple guys who left a little bit earlier.
Right, and this is tough for the Crimson. I hope they're able to settle down for their sake. In the first game in which they lost to Edina, if I remember right, it was 16 penalties they had, and I know that was a major focus going into this week. They felt like they'd settled down this year and that they had corrected those kind of early season mistakes and ironed them out. But they're struggling with them early, at least on this drive.
And a high snap. Kitterman's going to have to run it down. It's knocked away and recovered by the Hornets. They were going to get it anyway, but it's John Weddle who picks it up here for Edina. So now Maple Grove compounding things by snapping it high up and over Kitterman's head.
Edina is just playing with a tremendous amount of emotion and energy right now. They're really bringing it, and they're instead of kind of settling down after the momentum of the first 14 points, they're coming at it with more and more excitement. Obviously, Maple Grove hasn't been able to settle in yet, and I'm sure that they're working hard on that on the sideline. I'm completely confident of that.
From the 30, Boltman will hand it off. Kavanaugh trying to bounce to the outside and is wrapped up there by Jake Hansen. Hansen looked like he was trying to rake that ball free, not able to do so. It'll be a pickup of 3, maybe 4. So second down, we'll see if Edina can take advantage of great field position again here, as they have kind of shocked this Crimson crowd a little bit here, I think, by jumping on them early and trying to build on what's already a 14-0 lead. And we will get a flag flying. Looks like it'll be offside against the Crimson defense. Boltman going a little hard count there, it appeared.
Yeah, it looked like that was a hard count on purpose. It's also an interesting formation because it's an empty shotgun with 4 receivers into the boundary, which gives 4 blockers out there close to the boundary, close to the sideline, and that would suggest to me that that Coach Lampker wants Brockman to run the ball into the sideline and follow those blockers. Forces the defense to either overcompensate and roll some extra guys into the boundary, leaving the wide side wide open if they want to do a reverse or something.
Going to toss it out there into the flat, and they will get the first down as he connects with Jimmy Connell.
That when they put if they put 7 or 8 guys even into the boundary on that side of the center, then that defense has to keep making a decision about how many guys you want to put over there. If you put 7 guys on that side of the hash mark toward the boundary, then you only have 4 defending all that green space on the wide side of the field. So that's what that kind of formation jury-rigging or gerrymandering is attempting to do.
First down now from the Crimson 18-yard line. Handoff here, and up the middle is Rickert, picking up about 4. So Rickert's already had 2 big plays in the pass game. Takes the handoff right there.
Pretty quick tempo, building on momentum, going on first sound, and just trying to get in the face of the defense. They might feel like they have them on their heels a little bit right now. They certainly have field position again. They're in 4-down territory, so the advantage has really shifted in their favor since that attempted punt.
Maple Grove thinking we need to make a big play, and it looks like there's going to be a timeout taken by the Hornets here. Not sure if they didn't have the personnel that they wanted or in the spot they wanted there. So instead of risking a play that gets away from you a little bit, they'll take the timeout. So look at the 6A football. And Edina, of course, out in the lead on this one. Eden Prairie leading Durham Hall on this side of the bracket. Champlin Park on the road against Eastridge. We saw the Rebels last week beat Armstrong, pull away, and thump them pretty good. Not an easy task to go to Eastridge and win, but they're going to give that a shot this evening. And there's a look at the other side of the bracket. Totino Grace up on Hopkins 14-7. Blaine and Prior Lake tied up. Some good games, obviously, especially after into this round of 16. So here we go with the 2nd down and 6 play for Edina. Boltman's going to run it left side and gets hit early and then tries to fight his way forward. Good job to get a piece of him, and then Ben Paschke helped to finish him off. And not a whole lot of gain there for Boltman. He'll maybe pick up 2 to 3 yards.
Again, 2 backs in the backfield, so they both, just like what Maple Grove did when Davidson was in the backfield. If you run with the quarterback, you end up with an extra lead blocker, and Boltman's just trying to follow those 2 guys.
So 3rd and about 4 coming up here for the Hornets as we've gone under a minute to play in this first quarter, and it's been a good one for Edina. Boltman throwing it up. Rickard trying to reach for it and could not come down with it. And looks like there'll be a flag thrown, though, as Hansen was back there defensively. In good position, but he just keeps running into the body of Rickard there.
Yeah, if Gabe Hansen had been able to just turn around a little bit sooner and keep running his feet, he may have been able to avoid that call.
And in a second look at it, I think it's pretty obvious that this is a pass interference penalty as he kept going. They're hand fighting it early on. I didn't think maybe it was going to be the case, but he just kept driving into him.
And the receivers clearly turned around trying to make a play on the ball.
Boltman handing it off to Kavanaugh, popped by Paschke, and then finished off after a short gainer. They'll pick up a couple. Edina may not snap it again. We'll see as they go under 20 seconds to play in this opening quarter. Well, they look like they are going to come up to the line and at least give the indication they might run this play. Maybe not, though.
They're just
going to decoy.
They're just doing a hard count just to see if they could get halfway to the goal line for nothing.
So we've reached the end of one here. A great start for Edina on the road. 14-0 Hornets, and they're on the doorstep as we get set for quarter number 2 here on 12 Sports.
Family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove as you got to look at some of the highlights from that first quarter, and it's been mostly Edina so far. 14-0 lead, and they have the football on the Maple Grove 4-yard line. 2nd down, goal to go, beginning quarter number 2. And Edina trying to see if they can't stretch this to a 3-score lead here beginning the quarter. Maple Grove, I mean, it's a lot to ask, but a stop here would be huge. As Boltman comes up to the line of scrimmage, he's going to go with the toss out. Rickard forced wide, and he's wrapped up short of the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a couple. They just kept stringing that out. Curtis Haugen and company able to get there. Nice job by Kitterman to overpower that first blocker. And
yeah, that play was a lot of Kitterman right there. That was a great job taking on the lead block. That allowed the rest of the fast Maple Grove defense to just run downhill and get to the running back.
Jake Hansen, a Crimson linebacker, though, banged up on that play. So 3rd and goal now coming up from the 6 here for Edina, and I'm not sure if, no, it looks like, I thought for a moment they maybe were making sure that Hansen was far enough off the field before they're going to play, but that's not the case. Edina as Boltman quickly hustling up to the line, tosses to Kavanaugh, and he's not going to get there. Paschke with a nice stop, maybe a yard gain, and Kavanaugh getting a solid Paschke a solid one-on-one tackle on Kavanaugh, came up, met him in the hole, and is able to get the stop. So Edina, see if they might be thinking field goal here, I believe. As Rice will come on to attempt a field goal here. It would be about a 21-yard attempt.
And they really got after the extra point, so we'll see if they button that up.
And the kick is up, and it is good. And so Edina stretches the lead. It's not a touchdown, but they do get a field goal out of it. Our score is now 17-0 Hornets here. 10:55 to go in quarter number 2 after Rice, the lefty, drills it through. So minor victory there for Maple Grove, I guess, to get you don't give up the 7 there, but you give up the field goal, and it kind of.
And it goes back to the mistake on snapping the ball over the punter's head. I thought it was an interesting decision to be that close to the goal line, and probably a very safe and smart decision when you're already up by 14, but. Another time, you might want to try and go for that on 4th down. Just kicking a field goal in high school, executing the snap, catching the snap, putting it on the ground, and kicking it, getting all 4 of those things done. It's not pro football. So you have to weigh how good are we at those things compared to what's our chances if we try for another fade to get another interference call or something like that, or even make a catch. But when you get the 3 points, then it looks like a great decision. Which I think it was. It was a smart thing to do.
Onside kick here, and Maple Grove is going to recover. They thought they might catch him off guard, but Crimson Ben Schroeder was ready and got on that ball. So great field position here for Maple Grove. Boy, Edina feeling pretty confident right now, or just trying to really see if they couldn't put this game away early. Interesting choice.
Now that's a high-risk choice.
You wonder if Coach Lamker was in the year and suggesting that one. That sounds like something he would do.
And it's something that Lamker would do, but they do a tremendous amount of preparation in terms of looking at the return team and seeing where the holes are and where they think there are vulnerabilities. So if they have a perception that Edina's kick return team just abandons the line of scrimmage on a regular basis, then they'd be more likely to do it.
Mark off 5 here against Maple Grove.
And again, this is what Maple Grove really had as a focus to avoid this game. So keep waiting for them to get that corrected.
1st and 15 from their 41-yard line here, down 17-0 early second quarter. Davison 4 out of 6 through the air so far. He'll keep it himself and is wrapped up by Idrogo Lamb after a pickup of about 2 yards on that play. Second carry for Davison. And that read option stuck it in Hanscom's belly and then took it back. Second and 13 now for the Crimson.
3 receivers wide to the wide side.
Rush coming, Davison hit, but he gets the ball out, and Dugan with the catch. He pays the price as Noah Kraft drills him, but there's a quarterback standing in there knowing he's going to get hit and still delivering a pretty good strike.
That was just a beautifully thrown ball and a great catch. There's an out and up, or called a wheel route from the number 3 receiver, and the safety just wasn't able to get over on time. That's another one of those plays that if it's executed really well, it can be really hard to defend. And that was great execution.
To the 36, Davison, a short gainer there of about a yard. So 2nd and long coming up at Maple Grove, hoping that completion will give them a little shot in the arm. And probably if you've got a quarterback that's not 6'3" and 200 or so, whatever, Davison 6'4", 200, he maybe isn't going to have quite enough to get that ball there after he was hit just as he was releasing it.
Yeah, and what great poise to be able to make that throw and drop it right in on a dime while he's getting hit.
Here's the 2nd and 9. Davison firing out, complete to Dugan. Nice moves. And then the pursuit from the inside comes back to get him. John Bailey on the stop, but he made a couple guys miss. When you're this, when you're this size, you got to be able to do this to be a good high school player. And wow, Dugan made a couple of really nice moves.
Both great cuts off his left leg, just left guys overshooting them. That's where all the yards are. They're always there on the cutback if you can get somebody to overshoot it.
3rd and 4 here for Maple Grove. Kind of feels like almost a must-score drive maybe for them. There's the pass. They go right back to Dugan. Very close to a first down. It looks like Parker Rickert came up to make a real nice stop. And we'll see where they'll spot this. It's going to be very close, I would think. Very nice stick here by Rickert to get to his legs, and it will be 4th down, so didn't quite get enough. Maple Grove trying to convert on this 4th and short here as they try and battle back from a 17-0 deficit. Davison fakes it. Now he's going to throw deep downfield and looking for Rash. Incomplete, but a flag is down. Edina really committing an unnecessary penalty there, as I think this ball was going to be over Rash's head, but they dragged him down. So Maple Grove had the big pass interference against them, and now we're going to see one the other way.
Yeah, that was Parker Rickert. He just made a mistake. The ball was way overthrown. If he had just let him go, I don't know. If he'd been allowed to run free, he might have been able to lay out for that ball. So in any event, that's a pretty obvious good call. Kind of a gutsy call, too, by Coach Lombardi to throw that ball on 4th and 1.
They were hoping to really catch him off guard. It wasn't too bad a coverage, although Rash did have a step on him, but I think it was the jersey grab more than anything there that became real visible, and a call that, like you said, it had to be made. From the 12, Hanscom, good hole on the left side, and buries his head and goes down to about the 6 or 7.
Yeah, the jersey hold is what made me think, maybe if he hadn't been pulled back, he might have been able to run right to that ball.
And obviously, as a defensive player, you don't have a great angle to see that ball at the time.
It's a little bit easier to officiate that call in high school because technically there's not an uncatchable ball.
Right.
So,
flag down on the play as Hanscom is dropped early on. This flag came in early. And we're going to get a procedure call, possibly an illegal formation against Maple Grove. Another look at it there as Hanscom chopped down. And they are going to decline that penalty since they got a stop for loss on the play anyway. So it will bring up 3rd down and long here for Maple Grove as Edina declines the penalty after the nice stop. A little under 7.5 minutes to go here in this second quarter, and Maple Grove trailing at 17-0, but trying to convert on this drive. Davison throws, it's complete, and Kai Carlson is in for the touchdown. A 10-yard scoring play. Davison knew some pressure was coming, but Carlson broke open early on, and he goes in for the score.
And Edina's been giving up those balls in the flat. That's typically what you do. Those are the harder balls to throw. They take longer to get there, and then you want to try and rally up to get them in any kind of a one safety or cover 3 type look. But Davidson has just got such a good arm. He gets it out there in a heartbeat, and those receivers have good hands.
Peterson on to attempt the extra point here for the Crimson, and that kick is blocked. So Edina doing the same thing Maple Grove did on the Hornets' first touchdown, getting a piece of it. Another look at this throw. Davison looking out here. They got just enough of both rushers there that gave him time, and Carlson does a good job getting free and then turning upfield in a hurry. Really no chance to get him at that point. And you see the extra point try and getting up right in the middle of the line to get a piece of that one. It wasn't necessarily great penetration, but just a well-timed jump. So a 17-6 ball game. Maple Grove able to get down the field despite a penalty or two, and then obviously the big penalty on fourth down against the Hornets for the pass interference.
Right, that's a huge drive for Maple Grove to get down there and make a few big plays, kind of get some momentum. They're still waiting to settle down a little bit. I think they're really going to start moving on offense if they start eliminating some of these mistakes, especially the offsides and the motion penalties.
Peterson getting set to boot this one away. What do you think, onside kick?
I doubt it.
No, not going to do it. And drifting back to the 5, and a fake reverse again as Rickert keeps the ball left side. He jumps in the air for some reason there, and that allowed Michael Engelken a chance to really drive him down.
That's the second time that Maple Grove's kickoff, the second kickoff, but the second time that their kickoff coverage has just been outstanding. That sets up a possibility if they can stop Edina's defense, especially on a 3-and-out. They can get some really good field position here, but it starts them off with just dramatically good field position.
I think Rickert thought maybe that Engelken was going to go real low at him, so he maybe would hop over him, but he turns out he didn't.
Yeah,
and
turns into kind of a practice tackle.
Yes, just jump up and serve yourself up there, but fortunately it didn't take too rough a landing there. So they're only on the 13-yard line here, and Maple Grove maybe a little momentum, see if they can carry it over to their defense. Fires complete, and that is Rickert on the catch. So Boltman now 6 out of 9 as a passer, about a 5-yard pickup to Rickert. And he's already got 4 catches on the night and over 100 yards. Obviously that 81-yarder helps your average out a little bit.
Yeah, that'll help it a lot.
2nd and 5 on the 18 now for Boltman and company. Boltman's going to take off and run this one, and got through a tackle, and he might have enough for the first down before Kitterman spins him out of bounds. And very good runner. Slightly different than Davison. Davison's a little bigger, probably not quite as fast, but they're both really good runners. And I think Maple Grove, again, they're feeling like, a tackle that could have been made earlier on and wasn't. Ended up being made, and Boltman give him credit for breaking that tackle. So first down and 10 now for the Hornets at the 26-yard line. Boltman, good time, throwing it down that left side and knocked away from Rickert. Nice job by Joe Raymond to get a piece of that ball as he stayed right with him. It was well thrown, but probably even more well defended.
Yeah, good throw, great defense. Just made a field turn and ran with the receiver, turned at the right time. Just excellent.
Well, and Raymond did a really good job of playing the receiver's hands there. He did not actually knock that ball away, in flight as much as chop the ball free from the receiver. He timed it well and read the body language of the receiver there. So 2nd down and 10 now as Boltman comes under center. Play action. Now he's looking deep down the right side and batted away. Again, good coverage for Maple Grove. Rash was back there. Wanted to pick that one off as they went for Izzy Stewart. But it was one-on-one coverage. You got behind Rash a little bit, just a bit underthrown, and then Rash is good size. Got back there to break that one up. 6'5".
Ball was just, he was open for a moment, but the ball was just a little bit underthrown. Gave the defender an opportunity to make a play on it.
So 3rd and 10 here for Edina. Maple Grove really looking to try and build a little bit on, see if they can get some momentum, go and get a stop here and
get the ball in decent field position. Edina and Boltman obviously have different ideas. Brock Boltman throwing, and a nice catch in traffic. Not going to be enough for the first down, though, as he hits Jimmy Connell. So presumably a punting situation here for the Hornets as they're stopped a couple yards short. It was well covered, but a nicely thrown and a good catch. When High pointed that ball and brought it in.
I'm guessing this is going to just be an attempt to draw him off sides.
Yeah, I would agree. Be kind of a shock to see him actually go for it here. See if they'll take the penalty or if they'll end up using a timeout. And there's a flag down. So Maple Grove does get the stop they needed.
It's good discipline for Maple Grove's defensive line. Just have to know when it's 4th and 1. You got to focus on the ball more than ever. Oftentimes coaches will be having a call from the sideline that signals to the kids to be more careful than ever. Don't forget.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have to make an adjustment on the clock as it stayed running. Boltman, of course, is the punter as well. Carlson and Raymond waiting back deep. They're both on the 40-yard line, and again, considering that they were able to get this stop, they should get good field position here. Boltman, a low knuckler, and fielded and then quickly out of bounds was Raymond, but he will have it on about the 43-yard line. 43 of Maple Grove. They'll get the football back here, and plenty of time to go here in the second quarter as they try and overcome a slow start here. They're still down 17-6, but a score here would really, put them right back in this.
Yeah, that's good job by their defense. Got them the ball back close to midfield. So that's pretty good field position as well. If they were to be able to go down and score here, now all of a sudden we got a whole different football game.
Davison coming out here to lead the Crimson offense. Got a touchdown drive last time around. Fakes it to Dugan. Now Davison wants to go deep down that left side for Rash in traffic and just broken up. Again, a well-thrown ball, but Luke Glenna getting his hand in to break that one up. Both teams willing to stretch the defense by throwing it deep downfield. And like we talked about earlier, the lack of wind tonight and warm temperatures make it an ideal night to be able to do whatever you want offensively.
Yeah, it's just a great night for a high school football game. And you're right, Luke Glenna just made a great break. Fully extended, got his hands on the ball. Nice recovery. Interesting play choice in terms of the momentum going right now, too. Just Coach Lombardi going for broke right there, trying to get those 6 on the board right away.
2nd and 10 now for the Crimson. Davison fakes it one way, comes back the other way, and too high over Hanscom's head. Got a little bit impatient maybe. They wanted that screen, and you see the pressure got there as well.
Yeah, pressure coming really fast. Sometimes it's somebody's responsibility to hold up that that defender for just a little bit. What did he get?
Yeah, Davison wound up on the ground, and we could see in the replay. Yeah, there was
like anybody was close to him when he got hit.
So a 3rd and long now for the Crimson. Couple of incompletions to start the drive. Davison rolling to his left. Now throwing, and a great grab. Was he inbound though? No. Incomplete. Rash did a nice job of reeling that one in, but could not get a foot down. right in front of the Crimson bench. And clearly lands out of bounds. And obviously there's no force out rule or such thing as he was pushed there by Rickert.
Yeah, you can again see the athletic ability of the receivers and Brad Davison just making such a strong throw, but missed it by about 1.5 feet.
Kitterman this time. It's a good snap, but the rush was coming, and he boots it high and short, and it will be down on the 31-yard line. So about a 26-yard punt, although fortunate to get that one off. It wasn't, a big wave of rushers, but one guy got through and put some heat on there. Kitterman, the punter, obviously stays on the field as a defensive back as well. So it's a big stop for Edina. They obviously had capitalized on some turnovers, but Maple Grove got the touchdown the last time around, and the Hornets have to feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, it seemed like the momentum might be starting to shift a little bit and really go into Maple Grove's favor. So that's a huge 3-and-out stop for Edina's defense.
On the 31, first down, Boltman had the ball juggled a little bit, and now he runs it. Paschke will bring him down after about 3-yard gain there. Boltman, I think his eyes were upfield, and he ended up hitting Kavanaugh's shoulder pad with it. Pretty, all things considered, not a bad outcome for Edina compared to what it could have been.
And these two offensive lines have been generally doing a pretty good job keeping their quarterbacks, giving them the ability to throw the ball, but that time just a little bit of a quick collapse.
Boltman did get 3 yards out of it, so 2nd and 7. He's going to hand it off to Kavanaugh, and a good burst forward out over the 40, and he might be near the first down, but not quite have it, about a yard short. Well blocked on the right side of the offensive line this time, and got a little crease to run through, and then was met. Kitterman sticking his head in there to help on the stop. So 3rd and a yard here for Edina. Tight formation this time as Boltman comes under center. And he will pick up the first down with ease as they get a good push that time. That's the one thing, some of the spread offenses you're seeing, and there are teams that, just can't do this when they're a spread team. And I think a team that is able to still execute short yardage like this has got a pretty good advantage. So it is on the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 here for the Hornets. They would like to score again, obviously, but I think they'd also like to have this be the last possession of the first half if they could, not give it back to Maple Grove at all. Use up the rest of this quarter. And a timeout. So the Hornets have to use a timeout here. (17-6) Edina lead. They scored early on a long pass play from Boltman to Rickert as the defenders over pursued a little bit, 81 yards to start the game. We were only a little over a minute into the game, and they already had points on the board, and have been playing out front all game long. As you could look there at Jake Hansen with the ice bag on his leg. It's kind of interesting. Maple Grove ended up with a better record and a higher seed, and it kind of feels like, in general, most people expected them to win this game, but yet Edina beat them, during the regular season. So it can't be, a huge shock that Edina's playing well here. Boltman will hand it off to Kavanaugh. That one stacked up nicely. Maple Grove, good job defensively there as Paschke was there, but Joksimovic helping to stuff that play right away as well.
Giving the ball again to Matt Kavanaugh. It was the same play that just a few plays ago gashed for about 7-8 yards. So Edina getting right back to it, trying to find it again.
2nd and 9 here for the Hornets as they have started to slow their pace a little bit. Again, like I talked about, they would like to make this be a nice time-consuming drive. Boltman's going to run it, and he will pick up just a couple and paid the price at the end of it as well.
Yeah, Maple Grove is fast and aggressive between the tackles, and they typically have been with Coach Lombardi. They're gonna have, if they try to make a living there, it's gonna be, we're not gonna see the ball in there all the time. Let's put it that way. They won't.
I said here behind Boltman, 3rd down and long, play action. Plenty of time. Boltman throws, and it's complete to Rickard for the 1st down. Knocked out of bounds by Rash, but nice route and very nice throw as they had to respect Rickard's speed. And
that's another excellent quarterback from excellent throw from one of these two quarterbacks. You can see, if you saw the replay, that again, quarterback getting hit as he gets rid of the ball. So great play. Tough to throw under pressure like that.
Gets them into Crimson territory. It also will allow them to work that clock a little more here for the latter part of the 2nd quarter. 2:47 to go, and they're on the 44 of Maple Grove. Boltman, play action here, looking deep down the sideline for Rickard, and Rickard has it. Rickard is going to come down with it, it looks like. It is going to be a completion. Maybe simultaneous possession there, which would be the offensive guy's ball, and that's Rickard able to hang on to it.
Wow, what a great play by Parker Rickard to just time that, jump up, pull it down, fight for it, and hold on to it until he has dual possession. 2 guys on him.
You see right between them, Kitterman's there, and he was aggressive in going to get it. Kitterman has his hands on the ball too. Maple Grove thinking it's going to be an interception, but yeah, I think that's the right call. And as a defensive coach, you're probably saying, Mike, why is it there? You know.
Well, he did. You'll know, as a defensive coach, you'll notice just a tiny bit. He pushed the defender away and then jumped up for it. You're almost never going to get the call. It's going to have to be more flagrant than that. But just a great athletic play by a receiver.
On the 14, blitz coming. Boltman makes Zion Allen miss, but then he's in trouble, and down he goes. Wrapped up initially there by Engelken. Zion Allen came in almost untouched, and that made Boltman have to make a cut right away.
One of the things about Coach Lombardi's defensive scheme is that some people are always coming from places that they're pretty difficult to anticipate offensively. He's going to have 3 guys up front, but then one and often 2 more guys coming from who knows where. And so that was a case where a guy just came free because the linemen are just having a hard time figuring out who's coming from where.
And I think in this spot on the field and the way the game is going, they're feeling a need to be aggressive right now too, maybe more so than usual. Here's Boltman looking, and up over the middle, and it's intercepted. Nice catch by Curtis Haugen as he hangs on while spinning to the ground. And that's a great stop for the Crimson. Ball coming late over the middle, and Haugen was there waiting.
Is that the first turnover for Edina?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big play right when Edina's really looking at going in before halftime and taking a commanding lead. And instead, Maple Grove able to, in all likelihood, keep the score as it is, or perhaps do even better.
They're pretty deep in their own territory, but, you know, you go with a short pass and maybe hope you can pop something here, and they do have timeouts remaining as well. They're going to hand off to Hanscom, and he will be driven down at the 10 or so, 6-yard gain on the opening play of this drive. We'll see what Maple Grove, you know, you don't want to get too crazy this deep in your own end either, so sometimes these are kind of wait and see type things. If you get a first down or 2, then you start to maybe go into attack mode a little bit more. Davison's going to hand off to Hanscom. And he tries to fight forward near that first down stick.
Edina has to look at getting a timeout here. They might have enough time to try and get something done if they can force a punt.
Yeah, going to be a first down, though.
Oh, it is. Okay. That's what I get for watching the TV replay instead of looking at the sticks.
So first down right to the 14-yard line, and they got 10 on those 2 plays.
It's a real run-oriented formation. So.
Back to Hanscom, and he will pick up about 3 yards on that one here as Maple Grove, even though they're down, just didn't want to take a chance on coughing the ball up, so it does not look like they intend to use any of their timeouts either.
Right, and they have played a pretty sloppy first half, so maybe Coach Lombardi just wants to get into the locker room, have everything settled down, and get refocused going into the second half.
Second down and 7 here, and Davison will keep it himself. Has to cut it back and pays the price after a short gain there, just shy of the 20. He'll pick up a couple yards on the play, and that is going to tick us down to halftime. So a 17-6 advantage here for Edina as they've come on the road and done a solid job in this opening half here.
Yeah, you have to feel pretty good if you're them. They came out guns blazing, jumped on Maple Grove hard, and they haven't been getting dominated. Neither team has really been getting dominated on the line of scrimmage. So you have to feel confident, like we can play our game with these guys. We beat them one time already. We have an 11-point lead. So they have to be feeling like they definitely have an advantage. Maple Grove, on the other hand, they've made mistakes, snapping the ball over the punter's head, a number of penalties. They need to just play their game. They're a good football team. You can see it coming out at certain times with great throws, great catches, good blocking. They just need to kind of regroup and get focused on execution, and they'll get right back in this football game.
Yeah, Maple Grove trying to build on that interception late in the first half as well there, as they at least kept Edina off the scoreboard late in the half there after they were putting together a pretty decent march heading down toward the Crimson end zone.
Right.
Let's go down the sideline now to Allie.
Hey, thanks, guys. Coach, an interception there on a scoring drive. I'm sure you didn't like to see that, but are you surprised by what's kind of transpired here in the first half?
Well, no, not surprised. We're playing probably better than they're playing right now. We came out, fired up, and made some plays, and they made a couple mistakes. We should be up, 24, 28, 6 at this point. I hope the missed opportunities don't come back to haunt us. They're a good team, very explosive team, as you saw down there, and we just got to keep playing. Got to play for 4 quarters so we can keep playing the intensity that we're playing and making the plays that we made. And don't want to give that pick earlier right there at the end of halftime, but like at least come out there with 3. But we didn't, and we just got to keep playing.
Before the game, you talked about the physicality at the line of scrimmage and containing Davison. How do you think that's been in the first half for you?
For the most part, I think we're doing a pretty solid job. He's had a couple plays in there, but I think we've hit him a little bit too when he's throwing. So I'd say an advantage is even or our advantage right now, and we got to keep playing again. But I know what he can do. So we played him before, and they came back in the second half and made a game of it. So we got to just keep going to work and play each play.
Good luck in the second, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll send it back up to Jay.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks to Coach Boltman for taking time to talk with us. 17-6 Hornets. We'll be back with first half highlights and more here on 12 Sports.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove. Edina leading the Crimson 17-6 at halftime as we check out some first half highlights in this one. And it was a great start for Edina right away on their first possession. Boltman throwing, completes it to Rickard, but watch, he splits between as they overrun this ball a little bit and then makes one nice little cut. Makes it look kind of easy, like he's not really even running hard, but it goes for 81 yards and a touchdown. The kick was blocked, so it stayed 6-0 Hornets. But then they come back, and Boltman firing, and watch this great move by Rickard. He spins away from two defenders and wins the race to the corner of the end zone there. They got a 2-point conversion to make it 14-0 after a quarter. Maple Grove coming back, though. Davison throwing and hits Kai Carlson. This came after Edina had made a field goal, so 17-6 at this point. Crimson pulling back, or getting on the board for the first time. Then a late pickoff by Haugen, stopping an Edina drive just shy of the goal line. So Coach Boltman, speaking like a typical coach, even though they're happy to be ahead, he felt like they could have been ahead by even more than what they are. As you see, they have outgained Maple Grove primarily through the air by just about 100 yards, and obviously the turnovers a problem as well for the Crimson. We'll be back with our second half. We'll hear from Coach Lombardi as well here. The Hornets leading the Crimson 17-6. The season's on the line for both teams.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove. The Crimson needed to rally to come close against Edina in the regular season meeting between the two, and they're going to need a rally here in the second half of this one as well, as the Hornets lead it by a score of 17-6. And obviously they've been through a long season right now, and we'll go down to Allie and see what Coach Lombardi thought about that first half.
Thanks, Jay. Coach, not that clean style of play you're looking for in the first half.
No, it was a rough first half, but we're still within 2 scores. We start with the football. We're okay. We just got to settle down. We gave up kind of a dumb touchdown, the first touchdown. It's 3rd and 13, and we didn't make a smart play. And then after that, we kind of offensively, I thought, we're pressing. So we just got to settle down, play 24 minutes, and find a way to win this thing.
Other than calming down, what did you guys tell your team in the locker room to really turn this game around in the second?
We had a little schematic things we did, but more or less, we got to bring our feet to the party. I think we're diving on tackles, on blocks, we're losing our feet. Teams that are desperate oftentimes stop moving their feet, and so we got to relax and let our feet take us, and then from there we should be okay.
Do you see this coming down to a 1-score game?
That's our plan, or hopefully we can jump in front early and make this thing work. But, hey, they're a good team. We're going to have to play well, but we're in good shape.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Coach. And Allie, as obviously Matt Lombardi has been at this a while, and you want to give your team a sense of urgency, but at the same time a sense of calm, I think, coming back into this half. And the point you made right before halftime is very true, Mike, knowing that they were going to get the ball probably impacted them not necessarily feeling a need to be aggressive after that interception.
Yeah, they had a long way to go with not much time, but it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a much easier decision to just sit on it and burn the rest of the clock. Thought it was a great response by Coach Lombardi. You can see why he's an experienced, successful coach. That was a completely accurate summary in my mind of what took place with this football team and what they need to do to get back into the game and compete to win it. They just need to, in a sense, relax and trust that they're as good as they are and not leave their feet and make the basic mistakes that they were making in the first half and play their game.
I think sometimes you get a little overexcited trying to make a big stop, and that's when you can overrun some things, which they saw on the 2 touchdowns really for Edina.
Yep, exactly. And that sometimes the beginning of the game excitement can lead to those kinds of things. You're not quite used to the fast pace of the other team. Your scout team can never replicate that speed, and so sometimes before you can even get used to how fast everybody is out on the field, there's a breakdown or two. So that may have been a piece of it too. But also the fumble and the snap over the punter's head were pretty significant mistakes. They need to protect the football this half.
Rice kicking it off here for the Hornets, and Hanscom will field it on the 8-yard line here from Maple Grove. Now cuts it to the outside. Hanscom trying to turn the corner and is dragged down by the Hornets' Afisa Hall and out over the 35-yard line. So Maple Grove will have first possession. You see a lot of, it's camo night here at Maple Grove. Obviously the deer hunting opener on Saturday, and they're kind of a tip of the cap to that.
Yeah, it's a great start for Maple Grove to bring the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great field position, almost to midfield. And so this is when they need to go to work. First drive after halftime, in my mind, is always key for both teams. This could really make a decisive statement even if they just gain a lot of ground and really take control of field position. They're going to really get back into the game here. And vice versa, if Edina stops them and gets field position, they're going to really start creating a problem for Edina.
Carlson on the jet sweep and just tripped up there by Noah Kraft, or that one had a chance to go a bit farther there. He'll pick up about 5. First time we've seen this tonight from the Crimson. See a nice tackle here, just got his hand in on the knee. So 2nd down and 5 now for Maple Grove as they try and get a march going here to begin the second half. Davison putting Hanscom in the right spot there in the backfield. Fakes it, and Davison will run it straight up the middle and is knocked down just short of the first down, it looks like, as he took a shot in the back as he and to try to spin away from the defender there.
Yeah, what can make that motion sweep on the previous play effective is that you have Davison back there handing that ball off, and he's such a running threat that the inside backers are going to sit there and defend him. But then it opens up the jet sweep, and then he pulls it, and now he's got the yardage. So
3rd down and 1. Edina really crowding the line, and Davison trying to get it here. That play didn't go off.
No, he didn't get close.
Yeah, that it seemed as though they weren't really all on the same page on the snap count there, because it appeared that the rest of the guys, I don't know if they were thinking they were going to draw Edina. They snap it here, and it doesn't seem like everybody's ready necessarily, or maybe just good penetration.
Jay, it was hard to hear from here when exactly the officials blew the whistle, too, because when he spins out of this, he starts leaning forward. He keeps his feet the entire time. And they have to assume they blew the whistle, but I couldn't hear it.
Right, and it seems as though they ultimately ended up being back at the line of scrimmage is where they mark them. So 4th and a yard, and they're going to line up to go for it on their own 46. Davison going to go with a quick toss out, and Hanscom looks like it's going to be close. Yes, is a good recovery. Matt Lombardi pointing forward saying, no, we're up here, but I don't know. I don't know that he's going to get this. Edina signaling that it's short. Nope, it's going to be enough for the first down. Not even going to have to measure, but Hanscom just barely getting there. Out to the 47 he goes. Pretty good finish there by Edina as he was wrapped up, and then Noah Kraft coming over to pop him. But it is enough for the first down. That's big for Maple Grove, obviously. You don't want to give the ball to Edina right there. Three receivers to the left and one to the right side here as Davison drops to throw, and he's going to throw deep downfield, and it's complete. Dugan with the grab down near the 10.
Great job blocking by the Crimson offensive line. Edina brought 5 guys, which means it's an extra guy in terms of a blitz. Edina again and man free underneath. And Dugan just makes a great catch. Gets free and just makes a good catch, but that was very well done by the O-line to give him the time with a blitz coming and give him the opportunity to throw that ball deep.
43-yard pickup as Dugan able to reel it in. So it's going to be 1st and goal just inside the 10 now for Maple Grove as they try and get on the board early on this 3rd quarter. Here's Davison keeping. Wrapped up, and down he goes as Drogo Lamb had him wrapped up around the waist and just kind of sat back with his body weight trying to pull Davison down.
I know Maple Grove was feeling a little bit more confident with their offensive line than the first time they played them, partly because they were missing their center, Ben Long-Varenkamp, who goes by LV. A center's a huge, huge piece of a football team, just being able to hand the ball, snap it, block without making mistakes. So,
2nd and goal from the 9. Davison firing. There's a flag down. This play did not count. It was completed to Rash, but they brought the flag down, and there's Maple Grove shooting themselves in the foot again right there as they had what was going to be a touchdown. You see, it looks like it was Rash who ended up catching the ball. Yes, that's where the flag came. He got started just a little bit early. And I guess you could say Edina was stopping because of the whistle too, so can't really say they lost a touchdown per se there, but so it will be 2nd and goal back at about the 14-yard line now for Maple Grove, and a opportunity to really tighten this one up right away to begin this 3rd quarter, but that penalty might make it just a little bit tougher. Davison looking and throws and incomplete. It was a little behind Dugan. He got his right hand on it but couldn't quite bring it in. And now 3rd and goal here for the Crimson.
And again, 5-man pressure from Edina, and this time the Crimson's offensive line unable to hold. That creates the pressure that leads to the inaccurate throw.
Davison over to have a quick word with Coach Lombardi here to get this play call in. Certainly here, here's where you're glad that you're a team that throws the ball as effectively and in as diverse of ways as they do, though, because if you're, a hand it off up the middle team, 3rd and goal from the 13 becomes a pretty daunting task. Davison, look out, and he is blasted. Great pass rush there by Drogo Lamb as he was able to win the battle. And watch him up on the top of the screen here as he just gets the better with a quick rip move and got underneath of Sam Bednarz, and he drills Davison in the back.
Yeah, he's clearly lined up wider, made a nice move, as you mentioned, with the rip, and just buzzed his feet all the way in the quarterback.
So Peterson on. This would be a 38-yarder. Again, no wind really to speak of here tonight. Here's the kick. And it's going to fall short. Kick ending up short of the mark, so Maple Grove a threat, but they're unable to score.
Yeah, it's too bad for Maple Grove that they didn't score. It's a good drive for them, moving the ball, getting it down close enough to make an attempt. But what a great job by the Edina defense. Come up with that rush on the quarterback that creates the incompletion on the 3rd down. Great stop for them. Again, Maple Grove making a mistake contributes to their own demise as well by creating the more challenging situation to convert.
So from the 20, Boltman out there for the Hornets for the first time here, handing off to Kavanaugh, and he gets to the edge. Kavanaugh is going to have a nice gainer out over the 30, and will be enough for a first down as Curtis Haugen with the stop.
Yeah, Matt Kavanaugh, an impressive sophomore. When he's not running the ball, he's blocking it, and Boltman's following him. So it's kind of a tough 1-2 punch.
And playing some defense tonight as well for the Hornets. So nice start to the drive for them here. Here's where they would like to, I'm sure, work the ground a little bit. Doesn't mean they're not going to throw, but obviously you'd like to, put some pressure on this defense by working the ball on the ground. They do have a pretty good offensive line, as we've seen tonight.
And they go to their right.
Boltman will run this one, has a little seam, and they try to rip the ball out, and Boltman might get the first down. As he was protecting the ball, they were trying to drag it out of there, and instead he's able to carry a tackler with him, and you see how fired up Coach Lamker and the rest of their offensive staff got on that one.
Yeah, following the big tackle, Quinn Carroll again to the right side. a little bit of a pattern for him.
Jake Hansen, who was injured in the first half, is back in there. He was hanging on, but couldn't bring Boltman down until he gained about a dozen there to the 43-yard line now. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. I set here behind the quarterback Boltman. Here's Kavanaugh, tripped up there by Zion Allen. Give him a couple on that gainer. So 2nd down and 8 coming up here for the Hornets. Nearing the halfway point in this 3rd quarter, Maple Grove got the ball first to begin the half and had a nice march, but it ended up with a sack on 3rd and long and then a missed field goal opportunity.
Maple Grove consistently coming out with strength into the boundary, trying to gain a man advantage, force the Crimson to throw that way. So good.
Throwing incomplete there as he threw it towards Stewart and kind of fired that one into the ground, and maybe not such a bad thing, though, for Edina, as I don't think there was much room there. Even if Stewart had caught that ball, it would look like one of those where he was going to get hit right away.
Yeah, that's one where he's just trying to get the ball to the receiver on the perimeter and see if he can be an athlete and make a play and maybe break a tackle like happened earlier in the game.
3rd down and 8 to go here for the Hornets. Maple Grove will come with pressure, but they pick it up. Now Boltman looking, directing traffic, tosses, and incomplete. It almost ended up being complete to the second guy coming behind, Connell, as Rickard is a little bit slow to get up. A hard collision. He was throwing it, I think, to Rickard, but watch Connell come in behind it. And it first hit Rickard's hands, and then Connell was behind him, and both guys got a piece of that one.
Good coverage by the Crimson defense. Good protection by the Edina offensive line. Gave him a good chunk of time to try and get rid of that ball.
Boltman will kick it, and this one is going to spin sideways and go out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Can't ask for much more than that.
No, big break.
Punt.
Big break for the Hornets right there.
It's going to be a 50-yarder as he surprised him a little bit. Got it over the head of Raymond. That's one that really needs to be fielded if you're the Crimson. He just didn't get a real good read on it. You don't want to field it late over your shoulder, but he didn't really get him, a beat on that one and get underneath it like he probably had time to.
Right. Sometimes kickers who are kind of erratic can really be really effective on a given kick. Because I'm sure they were playing that close because they've seen that's where his typical kicks are on film. So,
from the 5-yard line, Maple Grove, Davison firing complete. Christensen the grab. About a 5-yard gain as he had to go down to make the catch. But they do have a successful start to the drive with a 5-yard pickup. Even though I'm sure Maple Grove's starting to get a little tense, you still have to feel like we drove the ball last time, we can do it again. They're not down by a big enough margin that they have to really start to do anything different just yet.
No, the pressure's not on yet, but if Edina keeps getting a couple first downs and then punting the ball and taking chunks of clock, it's going to start building and building.
Here's Rash with the catch, breaks a tackle. Oh, and just brought down on a nice tackle by Glenna as he's brought down at the 32.
And on the other hand, there's a lot of time on the clock, and one big play is going to make it a totally different game. If they were to get 2 big plays, that could be the lead right there. So
missed tackle there by Ben Brinkman, didn't wrap up. So on the 32 now, first down for the Crimson. They're going to go up the middle, Davison, and he is tripped up. Nice stop there by Angelos for the Hornets.
Now, when the back is a little bit behind Davison, it's a little bit of an indicator that it's in all likelihood a run because he's going to create that mesh point.
2nd and 9, Maple Grove trying to get up to the line, just, move that pace up just a little bit, it looks like here. Davison rolling to his left, and he will flick it out there. A diving try, but incomplete. Rash not quite able to bring it in as he stretched out for that one. Well thrown ball, but just couldn't quite bring that one in. Davison's pretty good at rolling left and right-hand thrower, better than a lot of guys at the high school level especially. But 3rd down and 9 now for the Crimson. This Edina defense, you got to give them credit. I mean, yeah, we've pointed out here and there have been some big mistakes by Maple Grove, but Edina's done a solid job.
Yeah, they've held them 6 points at this point with this dynamic passing offense. It's a great effort by them at this point.
Davison throwing here, and it is complete to Christensen, or is it? Edina trying to say no, but it looks like he has it. And it's going to be close to a 1st down. He might have it again, it looks like here. Yes, 1st down. Nice grab in traffic there by Christensen. As he almost had it squirt out of his hands as he was hit, but he squeezed it enough to get the catch. So on the 43-yard line, 1st down for the Crimson. Davison now rolling out, pressure on. He steps up and throws. Oh, and incomplete. Boy, Dugan had a lot of real estate if he had been able to haul that one in. Davison, of course, the play breaks down. He's running forward while being hit. But if they had gotten this one to go, Dugan would have had some room to run.
Maple Grove leaving in receivers for extra blockers. Edina brought 6 that time, but still outnumbered the receivers by 2 because they had 4 in coverage.
Davison, a quarterback draw this time, and out to midfield as he bounces off a tackler there. Sometimes you're always expecting that the tackler is going to get the better of it, and it didn't really happen that way that time. He gets about 8.
No, he's a great big strong kid. So
3rd and a couple here as he gets it into Edina's territory at the 49-yard line here. Time ticking down in the 3rd quarter. Crimson down 17-6, but a score here would again put them right back on the heels of the Hornets. And a handoff almost lost by Dugan, but he will get it. Oh, and he nearly squirted all the way through. And if Sahal didn't get him, that one might have gone all the way. He'll pick up 10. Watch this bobble. The handoff wasn't clean by any means. But watch him right here. He nearly ran all the way through that. So 1st down at the 39 now for Maple Grove. Dugan coming in motion, fakes the handoff, and this time will run it himself. Wrapped up there by Dylan Hoy. And a short pickup for Brad that time of about a yard. Maple Grove getting a variety of things to work on this sequence here, and now facing a 2nd and 9.
3 receivers to the wide side.
Davison looking, and a little short flip over the middle to Dugan, and he's got it. Dugan puts on the brakes. They try and yank the ball out of there. He is stopped at the 30. I think he's going to be short of the 1st down, or at the 31. He's definitely short. But this is what they almost completed a moment ago, just kind of dragging him across and out into the flat.
Offensive line does a nice job of keeping the defenders away from Davison so he's able to get the dump off. And other wide receivers needed time to just clear everyone underneath as well. So it's a good job by the O-line.
Good job by Dugan to hang on because he was trying to move the ball around. He was lifting his arm to try and make a move, and Brinkman almost ripped it out of there. Davison now flips the pass over the middle to Hanscom. Hanscom breaking a tackle, and he is stopped at the 15-yard line. Wow, nice pickup there. Little improvisation by Davison. Looked like he was going to take off, and then he saw Ryan Hanscom out front of him. And he just shot-putted that ball to him, and Hanscom was ready. and able to get the first down, and he's down to the 16-yard line of the Hornets. So Maple Grove keeps the drive going with a nice completion. Oh, he wanted to hand that one off, but he couldn't get it to him. And Davis unfortunate to hang on as Hoy wrapping him up. That could have been trouble. And I see Hanscom, they just weren't there on the mesh point. And then Davison brought the ball back out into just his right hand. And they're lucky that they didn't have a problem there with the turnover, as they'll lose a couple on the play.
Well, the good news is they've gained so much field position that, again, getting later and later in the game here, they're pretty clearly getting into 4-down territory, so they have 3 downs to make that up.
2nd and 12. Davison looking now, throwing, and it is complete for the touchdown. Dugan floated it over the defender, dropped it in nicely. Watch this throw by Davison. He's counting on the fact that the defender's not going to turn and see this ball, and he did late, but a kind of a back shoulder throw there to Dugan. That was nice.
It's a great throw. Huge play coming up now, because if the Crimson get this, they pulled it within 3.
Comes with 9 seconds to go in the quarter, and they will go for 2 with it 17-12. Each team has missed an extra point in the game. Fakes to Hanscom. Now Hanscom's wide open, and he's got it. That's a nicely designed play right there. Edina completely letting Hanscom go once they fake the handoff to him.
And the story of that drive is Hanscom slipping out of the backfield and being wide open. That was the 3rd time. That's more of a goal line design play, bootleg, throwback. But earlier, it seems like they've really found something when they clear all the underneath coverage with that man-free coverage, because everybody's running with a man, and then they dump it to the back coming out of the backfield, and somebody's losing track of him at this point. So they've got to get that cleaned up. Edina's got to get that cleaned up on the sideline, or they're probably going to just keep going to the well.
There's the 2-point play to Hanscom, and give some credit to their line. That, they had given up a couple pressures earlier on, but they blocked that very well. Obviously, that particular 2-point play there is very slow developing, and if you don't protect, it doesn't end up looking so easy. So a 17-14 ball game as Peterson gets set to boot it away here for the Crimson. They've been chasing Edina all night, and now they are to within 3 here with a quarter to go. Peterson will drive it deep, taken on about the 12-yard line here. And out over the 30, returned by Izzy Stewart. Stopped on the play for Maple Grove by Justin Stolp. So Boltman and the Edina offense will come back out. Just 1.9 seconds to go in the quarter.
So turned into quite an exciting football game, Jay, with 1 quarter to go on a 3-point game.
See if Edina can get a march going to kind of, maybe take the momentum back just a little bit. Maple Grove, is getting fired up. They're going to throw on first down, and the completion. Crimson trying to rip the football free, but Jason Sarp on the catch there for Edina will be very close to the first down, and will have the first down. That's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So a great 4th quarter coming up here. Our score after 3, Edina 17, Maple Grove 14. We'll be right back. Crimson fans having a good time here tonight, especially since their team scored that touchdown late in the third quarter to pull within 17-14. And now Edina, though, starting their drive with a nice completion to a weapon they had not used prior to that point, the senior Jason Sarp catching that pass. So they'll have it on the 43-yard line, first down. Boltman looking to throw. Pass is complete. And trying to get away, but unable to do so, is Parker Rickard. And it will be a gain of about 8 or so. Rickard's 7th catch of the night.
Yeah, Edina going for the short hitch routes. Really hard to defend because the ball's just out of there so fast, and they're short and they're shallow, and the defensive back wants to make sure he doesn't get beat deep, so he keeps the ball in front of him. Good catch, good throw. Typically, you're going to get at least 5 out of those if you execute them.
Call it a gain of 9 actually on first down, 2nd in the yard. Boltman will run it, and he will get the first down. Jake Hansen with the stop, but not until he had picked up about 3 or 4.
This is exactly what Edina needed to do after that scoring drive, is get on the field, eat some clock, eat some real estate. And now if they get in a little bit more field position, it really starts to fall on them with some urgency to really score and get something out of it, because that'll really put the pressure on the Crimson.
Well, we obviously see Brad Davison a lot and know just how good of a leader and good of a quarterback he is, and we're seeing obviously
he's
with
done
Edina.
It before too.
Yes,
so.
and then we're seeing Brock Boltman, being capable of that, not being phased by the situation or anything too.
Yes.
Boltman handing off. Kavanaugh will bounce to the outside, and he's got a lot of room. Kavanaugh inside the 30 and spun down. Boy, they really had a play call on a formation that Maple Grove maybe wasn't expecting, because they had a ton of room out to the outside.
So they come back to the short side. There's no to the wide side of the field, but there's no wide receiver out there, and that can make the defenders just crowd and stay away from the wide side of the field, because they're crowding the formation too much. And if it breaks out there, then they can go for real estate.
18-yard pickup down to the 25. Edina trying to answer that Maple Grove score as they get a nice march going here to begin this fourth quarter. Boltman does hand off. Brinkman taking the handoff, and not much there. Goes second down. Crimson fired up after getting a big stop there as Evan Jones in on the tackle. Second, they'll actually lose a couple there, so 2nd and long. Boltman brings him to the line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and long for the Hornets. Pretty good protection. Boltman looking deep into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Rash there defensively. Jake Boltman, the younger brother there, the freshman, was the intended target, and just ran out of real estate at the back of the end zone. They're kind of fortunate this wasn't picked off.
Yeah, Jake Boltman made a great play. He saw the ball was overthrown, and he just jumped over the back of the defender essentially and knocked it away. It's one of those plays, if you think about it, it almost could be called. No, not really. He didn't hit him early at all. If he hits him a little bit earlier, could have been offensive interference. But good play by the receiver to knock it away. 3rd and 12 now for Edina. Key play or key sequence of plays here in this game. Maple Grove trying to get a big stop. Edina trying to keep the drive alive and add to what's now been shortened to a 3-point lead. They're going to call timeout. So Hornets want to make sure they're all on the same page and get what they want to happen in this one. Boy, it's funny how quickly a drive takes on a different complexion. I mean, they get a big first down gainer there by Kavanaugh, and you're thinking, wow, they're in business, and then all of a sudden they lose a little bit, and then they have the incompletion in the end zone, and pretty soon it's 3rd and long. Right. Well, it's a great job by Maple Grove's offense. They run in that power play again, and I mean Maple Grove's defense. They ran the power play at him again, and they finally jumped on it hard. That created the second and long, one incompletion, and here we go. Again, though, Edina still has 2 downs to get this, in a sense, especially to the degree that Coach Boltman lets Darren Lampker make those decisions. He'll definitely want to take advantage of if he can just get half of this or more. He definitely want to go for it on 4th down. You also have to look at the fact that do you have a field goal kicker that you feel confident in? Do you have a punter that you don't feel confident in? That'll make you a lot more likely to go for it on 4th down too, because you don't gain much from punting, that's for sure.
So 3rd and 12 here for the Hornets. Boltman faking it once at middle screen, and it is incomplete.
It's a great play.
Boy, Paschke was right there.
That's a great defensive play. There's no interference. There's going to be no interference called behind the line of scrimmage, so it's just a great play for that defender to run right through that receiver. The only thing you can't do to him is same thing you couldn't do to a block. You can block them. You can't clip them. You can't headbutt them. But you can hit him early as hard as you want if he's setting up to make that play behind the line of scrimmage.
So 4th down and 12 now for Edina, as the Hornets will go for it here. Boltman, plenty of time now, firing, and it is incomplete as it bounces off the receiver, Connell. And the Crimson get a huge stop after Edina put a march together. And now Maple Grove with the football back and 9:21 to go.
Interesting that Coach Lombardi chose to defend all of the field, rushed only 3, had a spy on the quarterback, and dropped everybody back into coverage.
Joe Raymond there defensively. If he didn't get a hand on it, he at least bothered the receiver there, and it went off the mask, it looked like, of Connell. Maple Grove's jacked up. They get the football back. So they'll have it on the 27-yard line. Obviously, time not an issue at all at this point. They've got a good chunk of the 4th quarter. And Dugan, now a late arrival, coming into the play here for Maple Grove as he and Davison come on out. So Maple Grove's got to feel excited about getting the stop, and we'll see if their offense can make anything happen from it. Rush coming. Davison going to throw deep down the left sideline, and it's incomplete. Rash unable to hang on. It was tough to tell if he would have maybe been able to stay in bounds or not. It looked like a catchable ball, though. He got turned around just a little bit. Oh, it hits him right in the numbers. Now, whether he would have been in bounds or not, though, is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, no Kraft on the defense. He was right there, but the ball just a little bit off.
2nd and 10 now for Maple Grove as they have a near miss on a big play to start the drive there. Davison under pressure throws. It's complete to Hanscom. Wow. Nice stop by Dylan Hoy, but I thought for a moment Davison was about to be sacked there, and he just got rid of it.
That's the second time he's been really hit as he's throwing the screen pass.
Still put it right on Hanscom there.
Yeah.
Good recovery by Edina. Once, they had so much heat on, you thought maybe Hanscom would be able to slip out of this, but a real fine tackle there, though, by Hoy. So 3rd and 6 here for the Crimson. Pressure coming again, and Davison will throw an incomplete up and over the head of Dugan. One of the few, kind of poor throws tonight from Davison, as Dugan is not a particularly tall receiver. They list him at 5'10". He appears even, maybe a little shorter than that. And that one was a very a very completable ball, and he just missed him.
He was open, but again, the 5-man pressure bringing just enough heat to cause the quarterback to throw the ball off a little bit.
Kitterman on to punt. They had some trouble with the snap earlier, of course. And this one is good. booted away. A fair catch called for and made at the 39-yard line there for the Hornets as Max Thomas was camped underneath it. So they will have some pretty solid field position. So Maple Grove got a big stop, but Edina comes back with a big stop of their own, and they still have the lead by 3, and they'll get the ball back here with 8:25 to go.
Setting up for an exciting ending.
Now, I mean, with this amount of time, you know, it's possible we could be down to one more possession each, and you know, see who makes the plays. You know, before a game starts, we always, you know, you're hopeful that it's going to be a really close game. Tonight, we're actually getting to see exactly what we were kind of picking it to be in the pregame. So Boltman and crew here with it at the 39. And they're going to have a motion penalty here against the Hornets as Rickert was guilty. They've had a little bit cleaner night in that regard than Maple Grove. 4th penalty on the Hornets.
Looked like there was a miscommunication between number 22, Parker Rickert, and the side judge. He was asking him whether he was on the line of scrimmage or not, and the side judge, there was some confusion with the signal there, so he moved back, and then all of a sudden the ball was snapped. So,
yeah, kind of an unfortunate one, although still the right call, I think.
Yeah, it's a responsibility of the quarterback, too, to check and make sure everybody's set and that everybody's ready to go. But somehow there was miscommunication out there, and then he was talking to him about it after the play as well.
So 1st and 15 for the Hornets. Blitz coming, picked up. He fires, but incomplete, and then Rash, a little bit of a hit late, and they're going to throw the flag. Wow. As incomplete to Stewart, and Rash really didn't need to hit him. Don't know that it was blatant, but he did. So that's a tough one there for the Crimson. And they're going to get the dead ball personal foul on Rash. You know, this ball has clearly come incomplete here, and he comes up and got enough of them to draw the flag.
Yeah, once the ball's obviously uncatchable and the receiver's completely extended, you have to ease up at that point. And he clearly took a couple of extra steps and leaned into him a little bit. It is always interesting, though. It seems like those calls always seem to be on the sideline of the team that they favor.
Kavanaugh with it there, and inside, yeah, there goes a lot of voices and ears there, too, to help that one along. Nice gainer there for Kavanaugh, who's had some pretty decent runs here. I mean, obviously he hasn't been called on a ton. That's his 10th rush of the game, but he'll get about 5 on that, or 6 on that one. So into Maple Grove territory at the 45-yard line here for 2nd and 4 for Boltman and crew, and there's an offside, it looks like, on the Crimson. Allen was trying to get an early start there. Going to be enough for the first down as well. That's big, obviously, and so they move it to the 40-yard line of the Crimson here. Edina leading 17-14, a little under 8 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. And a fresh set of downs here for the Hornets. Hand off to Kavanaugh, driving the legs forward, and ball back at about the 36 or so. Maple Grove trying to do their best to dig that football out, but you got to make sure you stopped him first there, and he got a little bit more. See Hanscom and Davison
a couple
talking
offensive
about
linemen were just moving, were just buzzing their feet so much. One of them was number 79, Henry Brooks. I didn't catch the other one. Just buzzing their feet so much. I got confused from this angle and thought maybe one of them was the guy with the ball, but they just did not quit. They didn't hear a whistle, and they just kept driving and driving. It's just a great effort.
Boltman looking to throw. It's not there initially, so he's going to tuck it, and he has to retreat here. Boltman going to be chased out of bounds and then took a hit that was close to being laid out of bounds there as well, and he's a little bit slow to get up. They'll lose about 3, but Boltman hobbled. Let's take another look at this as he gets to the sideline. He had clearly stopped. Boy, you kind of wonder here. This one is on this sideline. It's
right.
not, you know, back to your point earlier.
It did look like he was still in bounds as he was initially hit. He was starting to ease up, but he wasn't out of bounds. He was off the ground even when he was hit. He'd never hit the sideline with his feet or anything out of bounds. So maybe a bit of a borderline call, but I think a correct one.
And you have to remember, he's a runner in that spot too. And
right.
Hand off to Kavanaugh. It takes a hard hit and goes down. So they'll be obviously nowhere near the first down. Couple yard gain here. Interesting spot for Edina here.
Very interesting if you want to give him the ball this close to midfield or punt it and only gain potentially about 17 yards, maybe more if you can pin it inside the 20.
Looks like they're bringing the punt unit on, which obviously keep in mind Brock Boltman is also the punter, so, but they do bring in what appears to be the punting unit. Now here's where you're hoping you can, you know, put the ball at least inside the 20 somewhere. Boltman drops the snap, but there was no rush coming, and the kick is very short. And let's see, did that ball hit out of bounds or not? It looks like maybe not. It's going to be down at about the 33. So they only get about a 5-yard punt out of it. That is not what Edina had in mind there.
And that's the high school argument right there for why it sometimes makes sense to be super, super aggressive on fourth down if you're down on the other team's end, and sometimes in any circumstance. Because in high school, sometimes it's hard to consistently execute a snap, catch the ball, and kick it well.
And then you see
one mistake and you end up with that. And if that's a possibility at all, you're better off going for it on fourth down.
Boy, and then it stayed in bounds to really help Maple Grove. Here's Hanscom taking the handoff there. And a solid gainer to begin the drive here for the Crimson after the stop made there by Angelos. And we have an injured player for Edina, Noah Kraft. Hanscom will pick up about 4. Glad to say it, but we haven't had too much in the way of injuries tonight here. And it was away from the play. And it kind of looks like he might be looking at a cramp situation. Maybe they've got the way they're working that leg. I think if it was something different than that, you probably, yeah, it almost certainly is a cramp. They're bending the toes back. And he's obviously in a lot of pain. So an official's timeout as both teams get to regroup just a little bit as they tend to Kraft. Eden Prairie advancing, no huge shocker there as they thump Cretin-Durham Hall 41-7. So Noah Kraft helped to his feet. Champlin Park up big on Eastridge, 35-14. Wow. About midway through the fourth quarter, and so, yeah, it looks like Kraft a cramp, so 2nd and 6 coming up here for Maple Grove as they try and rally back. They were down 17-6 at halftime. At 17-14 now. Both teams have gotten a couple of key stops here in the second half. Davison throwing, and it is complete. Carlson with the grab, and he is going to be close to the first down. Sahal coming up to meet him. And boy, where they're spotting it appears to be right near the, going to be enough for the first down.
Another good throw and catch by the Crimson offense. It seems like they're really starting to gain a little bit of confidence and momentum. good solid football tackle by Sahal, too.
Tino Grace thumping Hopkins tonight, 41-zip. So here we go from the 44. The pass complete to Carlson, who made a nice catch. Carlson into the Edina secondary, shakes off a tackle, and then finally forced out of bounds. "22-yard grab." Kai Carlson doing a nice job. And Brinkman actually kind of missed the tackle, but he got enough of him to force his momentum out of bounds, or that one could have been even more trouble for the Hornets. So they're inside the 35 now. First down for the Crimson. Davison to Hanscom, and he is chopped down. Nice stop there by Angelos. Watch Angelos get into this gap here and come up with a solid stop. There's the tail of the tape in the background there, ticking toward 4.5 minutes to go. 3-point lead for Edina, but Maple Grove on the march inside the Hornets 35, 2nd and 10. Fakes it to Dugan, now firing complete. Christensen on the grab. Tackled by Sahal, and didn't quite get enough for the first down, but it'll leave him with 3rd and short. Christensen doing a nice job protecting that ball after the catch. 3rd and a couple as Davison moves Hanscom up to a spot next to him. Fakes the handoff. Davison running forward. He tried to spin away. See where they'll spot this one as he was wrapped up there by Patrick Peterson. And I don't know that they gave him that last little spin because he was already, see where his knee went down there.
Oh, yeah. That was. So it looks like it might have been even a generous spot by about 1.5 feet.
So 4th and short here for Maple Grove. 25-yard line. They don't have far to get, but obviously they were late enough in the game that a non-make here would be a tough thing to overcome.
Going in for that first down, if you remember, in this situation, they threw the ball. I don't think they'll do it here.
Davison rolling out, is under pressure, escapes it, now throws and complete. Rash breaking a tackle, reaches forward, and let's see. He looks like he'll have enough for the first down. Wow, what a play. Davison looked like he was in big trouble there. Got it away to Rash, broke a tackle, reached the ball out, and I think he's going to have enough for the first down. It is enough for the first down. That could have been a season saver right there. Rash spinning out of it and then just sticks that ball out and gets just enough. So to the 24-yard line.
What a great play by Davison and by Teddy Rash. Both guys just executing. Interesting play call on fourth and inches twice down in this area in the football game. Last time it led to a touchdown. We'll see what happens this time.
Hand off to Hanscom, and he is knocked down after a pickup of a couple.
But that's twice that on fourth and short, right down on this end of the field. Coach Lombardi's chosen to throw the ball. That was interesting.
2nd and 8 coming up here for Maple Grove as we go under 2:40 to play in the ball game here. 2 timeouts left for Edina, 3 for Maple Grove if those should become needed. Davison stepping up, he's hit, now throws, and I think it was short hopped, incomplete. Yep, Dugan trying to make that one look good, but it gets off the ground. Davison again under pressure, being dragged down, but got almost enough, and clearly incomplete.
Edina bringing a lot of pressure, 5 and 6 guys. What's interesting is that half the time Davison's getting pressured, and he makes a great play anyway. That time he's unable to execute it.
So 3rd down and 8. See if the Hornets come again with some pressure here. Davison dropping, has time, throwing it up into the corner of the end zone and incomplete, looking for Dugan. And back there defensively was Luke Glenna. Just ran out of field there. And let's see what Maple Grove now. Do you think field goal to try and tie this one up, or do you go for it here?
Well, it's about a 40-yard field goal, so you better trust your snapper, holder, and kicker if you're going to take a shot at it. But if you think you do have a shot at it, to tie the game with 2 minutes left, if you think you can do it,
does not look like they're bringing the kicking unit out there. Remember, they were short on a field goal earlier, too, so they're going to trust Davison in the offense here. 2:11 to go in the ball game. 4th down and 8 for Maple Grove. Davison dropping, now throwing, and it is complete. Teddy Rash with the grab. Going to be 1st down, goal to go here for Maple Grove. They'll pick up 14.
Edina's been pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, and that time they chose to just bring four defensive linemen and drop into a more standard coverage, and Davison is able to find the receiver.
Nice grab, not too bad a coverage there by Brock Boltman, who was the quarterback in there playing defensively for the Hornets. So 1st down, goal to go on the 8 now for Maple Grove. Now they kind of would shift into saying we'd like to use the rest of this time too if we can score. Davison gonna run it. Davison looking for the end zone, and he is in. Maple Grove leads for the first time as Davison powers his way in. Here's where you love having an experienced quarterback, and a tough one as he's able to get these last 8 yards.
An experienced quarterback that's brought his team from behind and deep in the 4th quarter before as well. So the poise and the execution, as I said, he's been under pressure, and half the time he's getting hit and he makes an excellent throw anyway. So
Peterson's extra point is an important one because it makes it a 4-point margin, and he drills it through. 1:37 to go. Davison's 8-yard run and then the extra point, making it 21-17 Crimson.
And how about Maple Grove's defense stepping up after giving up 17 unanswered points to just throw a shutout since that time early in the game. So it's a great effort there too.
And now they've got one more time that they'll need to do it here. Edina will have a couple of timeouts, and depending on how long the kickoff takes, roughly a minute and a half. You pointed out earlier too, though, the kick coverage has been good. Edina has not gotten anything, big. They did have a kick return for a touchdown against Maple Grove in that first meeting, though.
Tonight it's looked great. So if they stick them down there with deep field position, that's gonna make it awfully challenging for Edina. You never know in this situation if you have a reverse. They've shown a reverse every time they've run a kick return. So if they actually have one, we may see something unconventional with 1:37 left.
Rickard and Stewart are back deep. It's going to be Stewart on the 6. Gets a little bit of a head of steam, but well covered again. He'll be down at about the 22-yard line, and Edina will have nearly 80 yards to go. Another look at this last drive. 4th down and a yard. Davison under extreme duress. Got it to Rash, who, if he had been stopped by that first tackler, would have been short of the first down, obviously. And then Davison throwing again on a 4th down play, completing it to Rash. Boy, talk about coming through in the clutch. This offense has really done it so far. And Davison finishing the drive with the go-ahead touchdown. But now they'll need their D to continue playing well like they have been. Boltman steps up and throws and complete. And they keep him in bounds there as Jimmy Connell on the grab. He will get a gain of about 7 or so.
if they can get first downs, they actually have more time than it looks like because the clock should stop every time they convert, but they need to get the ball further than more than 5 yards.
Over the middle, a diving try, but incomplete. Sarp not able to hang on. Bring up a third down here.
Great effort, almost a great catch. Had it for a moment.
So 3rd down and 4 coming up here for the Hornets. A little over a minute to go, 1:04. Brock Boltman looking to throw. Now it breaks down and he's sacked. Zion Allen with a huge sack for the Crimson. And a timeout taken by the Hornets. Wow, there's a huge play. We talked about all the big plays offensively. This one is enormous on D.
What great coverage by Maple Grove's secondary to create a situation where he couldn't get rid of the ball. Nowhere to throw it, and the pressure just brings him down.
Allen got just enough of him to drag him to the turf there. He's had a couple other ones where he's put some pressure on. And so now 4th and 12 coming up here for Edina, under a minute to go. Maple Grove, well, we go back to halftime when Coach Lombardi didn't, appear phased by being down and said we're still in a good position. We can still do this, and it's looking like it right now.
Yeah, he's been through a few battles before, so he understood what he needed his football team to do. He expressed it to him, it sounded like, and it looks like they may have been able to come out and do it, but we'll see. It's not over yet.
Boltman will need to get something big here on 4th and 13. Looking deep downfield, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Maple Grove will hold on downs as he tried to find Jason Sarp over the middle. And Maple Grove now with only one timeout for Edina. Got flagged down after the incompletion here. It's like going to be a penalty against Maple Grove, I think, for celebrating or
dead ball foul, so it should be after the turnover. Cost them 15 yards. So with 49 seconds on the clock. And only one timeout left for Edina. They just need to kneel on the ball. So. But what a dramatic football game, and what a great comeback for Maple Grove, for the Maple Grove Crimson.
Boy, to convert twice on 4th downs, and they weren't any gimme 4th down plays either. That was huge. Both of them to Rash.
Right, especially the one where Davison was hit. He was almost contained, almost wrapped up. He almost saw the receiver, but it just had to get rid of it, and Rash comes up with it, and then the extra stretch to lean into this, across the sticks and hit him and demonstrate that the ball's clearly a first down. That's pretty much a play of the night. What an exciting play.
Edina choosing not to use the timeout that they do have left. Davison presumably will just have to take a knee one more time here, and the Crimson will survive and advance here in the 6A playoffs.
It's a great effort and a good season for those kids. My heart always goes out to the kids from Edina who are seniors and they're done. It's a hard thing, but what a great effort for them.
Well, and especially when you play, really such a good game all the way through,
right?
And then, but you give tons of credit for Maple Grove, showing kind of the heart of a champion here, who are coming back with some big plays. 4th down conversions and whatnot as well. So 21-17. Great win for Maple Grove. We'll continue our coverage here in just a moment on 12 Sports. The Crimson advance. Welcome back here to Maple Grove. Boy, this one was everything is advertised and more. Maple Grove driving late to beat Edina 21-17 as we check out our game recap. And this one, things started very well for Edina. This one was way back in the first quarter. First drive of the game, completion, Parker Rickert, and then a little bad pursuit angle there, and he runs by everyone. 81 yards later is in the end zone, and Edina quickly leads at 6-0. And then he was involved in the next one, too. Watch this spin move out of traffic as he catches the low throw and darts his way to the end zone. Boy, the Edina really looked good early on. They led it 14-0, converting on a Crimson turnover there. Maple Grove coming back, though. Davison throwing. Kai Carlson catching it on the move, and into the end zone he goes. And that cut the deficit to 17-6 at halftime. And then Maple Grove, long throw downfield, connecting with Jack Dugan, who had a big game. 7 grabs for the Crimson. And then watch this one as he throws kind of back shoulder to Dugan. Turns very nicely, adjusts to the ball beautifully, and makes the catch there. That one came with 9 seconds to go in the third quarter and brought him to within 17-14. And then the clutch drive down the stretch of the fourth quarter. 4th and 1. Davison in all kinds of trouble. Just gets rid of it. Rash right here breaks a tackle. And again, if he was stopped by the first guy, he would not have made it. He just barely made the first down. And then later in the drive, they had another 4th down play. And the same combo works again. Davison to Rash down inside the 10. Made it 1st down and goal to go. And then Brad Davison calls his own number here. And you can see why he's had such a good year as a runner and a thrower, as he's able to get into the end zone. That came with just a minute 37 to play in the ball game, and they're able to hang on for the W here. So Maple Grove will be in the final 8, back in the state playoffs now, 21-17. And their reward, if you want to call it that, is a date with Eden Prairie, a team they did play and lose to earlier in the season, and that one will be coming up at Chanhassen next Friday night. So the Crimson, definitely a tall order ahead, but a great win for them this evening. And it's just a heck of a performance down the stretch. You see Totino Grace advancing by thumping Hopkins. And some of the other games still going on, and some close ones along the way as well. But Mike, boy, you really have to hand it to Maple Grove for not panicking when they had fallen behind. I mean, let's face it, the first half didn't go especially well for them.
Right, and they had all those kinks in the first half. The penalties, the snap over the punter's head, the fumble. And they started off in the second half, and they were a little bit iffy. They had another penalty in there, but then when things really settled down, when Davison was able to get time and able to make, frankly, some plays where he was just getting ripped by the pass rush, and he was able to execute some of those, not all of them. A few times the pass rush got to him, but at times he made these incredibly poised throws. There were catchable balls, converting to first downs and so forth. And so he was quite a weapon tonight, and his receivers and offensive line deserve a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, they've got a good receiving group and a little bit of variety, too. Dugan's a small, shifty guy. He had 7 big catches tonight. Then you got your bigger guy, Rash, who came up with some big plays, in part because of his size and ability to break a tackle there.
Especially the 2 big ones at the end. And the offensive line was hard pressed with all of the pressure that Edina was bringing. But at the same time, they gave him just enough time several times to make those good throws when he needed to. So what a great dramatic football game.
And Carlson and Rash each having, or Carlson and Christensen, I should say, each having 4 catches as well. So obviously a great thing for the Crimson, able to finish it off.
I mentioned earlier, too, Coach Lombardi, such a good reputation, such a reputation as a good defensive coach. If you think about this defense, they were down 17-0 early in the game. They give up 17 points, and before you know it, they throw a shutout for the rest of the game. That's a pretty dramatic and emphatic statement by that D. Once they kind of regrouped and straightened things out, they really shut things down.
Let's go down to the field now. Allie standing by with a couple of happy guys in black and crimson.
Very happy. I'm going to call them the fourth quarter kings because, oh my goodness. Well, we're going to start with Teddy, who's now a little wet and cold. Teddy, 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter. Your quarterback over here is scrambling. It looks like he's going to take a sack, but he converts to you, and you get that first down. Talk about that play.
You know, honestly, I thought we were done. He scrambled, was about to get sacked, and lobbed the pass to me, and I happened to be there and reached for the first down and got it.
And in the very next couple plays, 3rd and 8, and you do it again.
Yep.
Talk about that one as well.
It was well covered. He threw it a little high to the left, and I just went up and grabbed it. I don't know.
What is it like to have this guy as a quarterback, knowing that he's somebody who can be so confident that you have to be able to get those scores?
It's awesome. I mean, he's been here so long. He has so much experience, and it's nice to have a big leader on our team.
Congrats on your big night. We're going to turn it over here to Brad. I want to talk about that 4th and 1 as well, because it was a struggle. That defense came. They applied the pressure. You looked like you were going to take the sack, but you got the pass off.
Yes, man. We had a little bootleg throwback to the running back called, and they covered it well. The second time we ran it, they learned from their first mistake, and I just tried to make a play. Before every possession, in the 4th quarter, I just told my receivers that it's going to come down to us. And it's going to come down to us, and it's going to come down to us making plays. Teddy made a great play coming back to the ball. It's a scramble drill we do all the time, and clicked it off. So.
Brad, you guys were down essentially this entire game. You had to fight tooth and nail. Talk about overcoming that deficit to come back and then go to the state tournament.
You know, we're used to it. I don't know if that's a good thing. We start down quite a bit, so we're kind of used to it, but we showed a lot of persistence and a lot of tough grit, heart. So I'm really proud of my teammates and the way they performed. I think the offensive line stepped up huge at the end. Edina's defensive line is really quick, they're really fast, and they really stepped up and gave us enough time for us to be able to make plays at the end.
Talk about that change from the first half to the second. You guys only put up 6 points in the first, and then you come back and win it in really the last minute.
I think we got to credit that to Coach. Coach did a great job at halftime of just calming us down and just reminding us who we are. Just reminding us how we got here and who we are. That's the biggest thing. We just came out and executed, and we knew we were the better team. So we come out and executed, things would take care of themselves.
Brad, what is this team destined for?
We're just excited to keep playing football. That's the biggest thing. Is we're playing at the state championship, but we're just playing to play more football because we love playing with each other. These are our brothers. So that's what keeps us motivated.
Staying humble. Hopefully it won't be so close next game.
I love that.
He'd love a break for once. We'll send it back to you guys up in the booth.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks, guys, for joining us here. And Mike, fantastic football game in Maple Grove. These are the kind of nights you remember. Sure, it would be fun to do it easier, but the comeback makes it special.
I want a couple of likable young men. That's what makes it so fun to be a teacher and coach and work with young guys like that. What an exciting night for them. So congratulations, Maple Grove.
So Maple Grove into the Final 8 in Class 6A. Again, they'll take on Eden Prairie next week after a real thriller here tonight at Maple Grove. 21-17 Crimson, our final score here. For Mike Johnson and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Maple Grove.